Assalamualaikum and hello my amazing students. Today we're going to learn on Get Smart Plus 3 textbook page 10. Let's play. We are already on our 4th class. Let's get it started. So before we start, we're going to look into this page. Today we're going to learn on page 10. So first, as usual, we're going to look into the vocabularies. And then we're going to look into the sentence pattern. Then we're going to do some exercises. So let's start. The first vocabulary is 3 o'clock. Read it with me. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock means pukul 3. Now let's look at the analog clock. So this is analog clock. Now, look at the shorter arm. The shorter hand shows at 3, and then the longer hand shows at 12. So, this means it's 3 o'clock. Or the digital one shows like this. 3 o'clock. Pukul 3. And then the next one is 3:30. Say it with me. 3:30. 3:30 means pukul 3:30. Okay, so this is what it looks like on analog clock. The shorter hand shows slightly below 3, and then the longer arms shows at 6. This means 3:30. And then, or the digital one will be 3:30. So the other way to say 3:30 is 3:30. Pukul 3:30. Okay, now let's look into the sentence pattern. So the sentence pattern is when you're trying to ask someone the time. So you want to ask someone, what is the time? How do you ask it? This is how you do it. You ask them, what's the time? Say it with me. What's the time? Pukul berapa? So the answer, it's 3 o'clock or it's 3:30. Simple, right? Now let's look at the example. What's the time? Look at the shorter hands is at 8. And then the longer one is at 12. So what time is it? It's 8 o'clock. Look at the next one. What's the time? Look at the shorter arms here shows slightly after 12. And then the longer one shows at 6. It is? Yes, it is 12:30. The next one, what's the time? 9:00. The answer is, it's 9 o'clock. And then the next one, what's the time? 7:30. So what are the other ways? So what is the other way to say 7:30? It's 7:30. Okay, now you already understand how to use the sentence pattern. We're going to apply the sentence pattern into this activity. So what I want you to do right now is pause this video for a while and then take a piece of paper. Okay, now look at your textbooks. If this is unclear, if this is not clear enough, you can look at your textbook page 10 and then try to answer this question. Try to read the time and write it down in that piece of paper. So after you answer it, you can play it and we can discuss it together. Okay, now I assume you're already done. Now let's discuss the answer. Let's look at the first row. Look at this first clock, the heart-shaped clock. Look at the shorter hands of the clock. It's at 10. and the longer one shows at 6. So what do you think is the answer? What did you write the answer? The answer is, it's 10:30. Did you get it correctly? If you get it correctly, that's awesome. If you didn't get it correctly, that's awesome too because you tried. But you can try to correct it. Erase the one that you already write and write the correct answer. Now let's look at the second question. Second picture. The second clock here shows the shorter hand shows at 1 and the longer hand shows at 12. What time is it? Yes, it's 1 o'clock. Now the next one, the cat-shaped clock, and then look at the shorter hands of the clock here shows at 3. It's before 4, right? It's slightly below 3. And then the longer one shows at 6. So what time is it? Yes, it's 3:30. Now the next one, the shorter hand shows at 8 and the longer one shows at 6. What time is it? Correct, it's 8:30. You're doing great. Now we're going to move on to the next line. So the next row, number 5. 9:30. What is the other way of saying 9:30? Yes, it's 9:30. The next one is 11:30. What's the other way of saying 11:30? Correct, it's 11:30. And then the next one, it shows 6:00. So how do you read it? Yes, it's 6 o'clock. Now move on to the next row. What time is it? Look at the shorter hands, shows at number 2. And then the longer one shows at 12. So what time is it? How do you read the time? It's 2 o'clock. And then the next one, look at the arrow, look at the shorter hands. There's no number here, but what is the number after 6? 7. So the shorter hands here shows at 7 and then the longer one shows at 12. So what time is it? Correct, it's 7 o'clock. So the next one is, it shows at 8 and then the longer one shows at 12. How do you read it? It's 8 o'clock. Now the next one, 12:00. How's it read? How do you read it? It's 12 o'clock. The next one, 12. The shorter one shows at 6. How do you read it? Yes, it's 12:30. Now the next one, the shorter hand shows at 10 and then the longer one shows at 12. What did you answer? Correct, it's 10 o'clock. You're doing great. Okay, we made it to the end of this video. See you again next class. Bye.